Hello, For Life affiliates and customers from around the world. I'm David Vollmer, Chief Scientific Officer at For Life Research, and I have the privilege of telling you about one of the latest studies in transfer factor research. But before I do that, I'd like for you to watch a recent video that we created that visualizes how transfer factor works in our body.
For Life transfer factor is clinically proven to activate the immune system within 2 hours. Transfer factors aren't vitamins, minerals, or herbs. They are molecules that transfer immune memory and knowledge from one cell to another. They teach your immune system to recognize, respond to, and remember potential threats. For Life transfer factors provide vital information and education to your immune system. Let's follow the path of transfer factors through the body as they raise your immune IQ. First, the capsule travels down your esophagus to the stomach. There, it dissolves, and the individual transfer factor molecules are released. The transfer factor molecules enter the intestines, where they encounter groups of immune cells called Peyer's patches. Peyer's patches are concentrated centers of immune cells, and this is where For Life transfer factor begins educating your immune system. They support many different kinds of immune cells, such as natural killer cells, T cells, B cells, macrophages, and more. When the transfer factors encounter an uneducated immune cell, they enter and educate that cell so it can better recognize, respond to, and remember health threats. From there, the newly educated cell creates more transfer factors to place on its surface. As educated immune cells come into contact with uneducated immune cells, they pass their immune system knowledge to those cells. The education spreads cell to cell until it reaches a lymph node, a concentrated source of immune system cells. Here, the educated cells work quickly to transfer their immune system knowledge, and soon all the cells in the lymph node have transfer factors to pass to the rest of the immune cells in your body. This transfer of immune knowledge spreads throughout the body until your entire immune system is fortified by transfer factors, making for a smarter and more vigilant immune system. Try For Life transfer factor products today to raise your immune IQ.
I love that video. It truly captures the beauty of For Life transfer factor and how it works in our bodies. This video personifies the perfect intersection of where science meets art. And did you hear about the statement about how transfer factor is clinically proven to activate the immune system in just 2 hours? That's right. Transfer factor is clinically proven to activate the immune system in 2 hours. This study takes For Life to the next level in immune system support by leveraging decades of transfer factor research with a collaboration from a world-renowned clinical lab that specializes in uncovering the immune system benefits of natural products. Over the last year, For Life has partnered with NIS Labs, which stands for Natural Immune System Labs. NIS Labs is a 20-plus year full-service clinical research lab with its own testing capabilities. In this study, NIS followed the gold standard for human clinical studies, a placebo-controlled, randomized, double-blind crossover study. This design means that the results can be trusted as a real scientific effect and not by random chance. Participants took one dose of either 600 milligrams of transfer factor or a placebo, which has no active ingredients. And just prior to and at 1, 2, and 24 hours after consumption, blood was collected to analyze immune cells and specific biomarkers that indicate an impact on the immune system. 7 days later, the participants took the other dose with a similar collection protocol as before. In this way, participants are serving as their own control. So what did we look at? There are two ways to measure the impact of your immune system. The first is to look at the actual immune cells themselves. To understand what we are looking for, let's first recognize that our immune system is comprised of two parts. Innate immunity consists of defenses that are fast-acting or within a few hours against health threats. Adaptive immunity is another part of the immune system that contains specialized immune cells which target health threats and prevent their growth in our body. The adaptive immune system can take a few days to mount a response towards a particular health threat. The second way is to measure the impact of our immune system to look at special biomarkers called cytokines. These are proteins that signify our immune cells' ability to communicate with one another. To mount a defense against health threats, our immune system must coordinate its response, and it does so through expressing cytokines. In looking at what happens in the first couple of hours of immune system activation, we see that cytokines change and begin their surveillance in our body. Soon after, the immune cells become alert, ready to coordinate a response against any health threat. You may remember that at 4Life, we refer to this part as transfer factor's action towards recognizing health threats. So let's see what the results show. What we found in the study is a robust cytokine response when comparing the action of transfer factor versus the action of placebo within the first 2 hours. This is represented by changes in two key cytokines called interferon gamma, or IFNG, and interleukin-13, or IL-13. This tells us that transfer factor is improving our immune cells' ability to communicate. When we look at the immune cells, we also see a positive change in the CD25 marker for a special immune cell called natural killer T cell when comparing transfer factor to placebo. A remarkable feature of the natural killer T cell is that it is part of both the innate and the adaptive immune system and can have a rapid onset of activation. Together, this data demonstrates the impact of transfer factor on our immune system. It allows us to say with confidence that transfer factor is clinically proven to activate our immune system in 2 hours. As we noted earlier as part of our study protocol, this claim applies to 4Life transfer factor products containing at least 600 milligrams of transfer factor. So to achieve this benefit, we must consume 600 milligrams of transfer factor, which can be done with a number of single products or through a combination of products taken at the same time where the amount equals 600 milligrams of transfer factor. And as I mentioned earlier, one very important aspect of this study is that it was performed at a third-party clinical research lab. It's important for us to recognize that these results were determined independent of 4Life research. In a recent interview with Dr. Gitte Jensen, the founder and research director of NIS Labs, we discussed this study and how transfer factor works in our body. You're doing these studies and you're literally looking at immune cells within a couple of hours. And so can we say with great confidence that transfer factor is clinically proven to act on the immune system within 2 hours?
Yes.
So you're the co-founder of NIS Labs. What is the mission of NIS Labs, which incidentally stands for Natural Immune System? And how is NIS Labs different than other labs in dietary supplement space?
The mission and the passion is truth. It is the truth in science, and it is to be able to dive into marketing claims on natural products and see if they hold true.
You performed a study for us, and perhaps the study that you performed is not typical of what you have done in previous studies. And so as you started to develop the clinical study protocol, what was compelling about transfer factor compared to some of the other ingredients that you examine on a day-to-day basis? What was really unique about this study?
For your product, it seems much more likely that there is a rapid absorption of the transfer factors into the gut mucosal tissue, and that's where you have an enormous amount of immune cells just sitting ready and waiting for that call for action.
Walk us through how this particular study was conducted.
Okay, so the study participants were all healthy, and we are we have them come in on 3 different occasions. We have them sit down quietly in our clinic rooms, 1 person per room, and we have a very quiet environment to reduce the noise so we can better pick out what is happening. And then we feed a participant either a placebo or the active product. And we then take blood 1 hour and 2 hours later, and we take blood the next morning. And then we look for what is changing in the immune system. So we are looking at very fast changes. And the power of this type of study is that each participant will consume placebo and at another occasion will consume the product. So we are looking at their changes in relationship to the day where they had placebo. They serve as their own control. And that is what makes this kind of study so powerful.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're doing these studies and you're literally looking at immune cells within a couple of hours. And so can we say with great confidence that transfer factor is clinically proven to act on the immune system within 2 hours?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to get into the weeds a little bit more here because for us, this is really big news. So transfer factors acting on immune cells to improve their communication process. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it improves immune system surveillance. And if that's not enough, it also increases the alertness of our immune system, right?
Yes.
So my question is, how is transfer factor able to do all those things after only 1 dose?
Because it goes in to meet the immune cells, and it engages very rapidly to start communication signals. In the science terms, we talk about cytokines, we talk about communication molecules that the immune system, the immune cells are sending out. They can circulate throughout the body, and we get like a cascade of events. So even if you are just consuming some little portion of the product, that will initiate a few cells doing something that will tell other cells to do something that will then cascade, and more cells are going to get involved, not just in the area of your stomach where the capsule dissolved or got in contact, but throughout the body.
Wow, that is just incredible research. And I just want to say that you bring such great value and credibility to transfer factor research. So on behalf of 4Life and all of our affiliates and customers from around the world, thank you for your time and thank you for your insights.
Thank you.
Now, you may have heard Dr. Jensen use terms like immune system communication, alertness, or surveillance. And what she's really talking about are the concepts that we at 4Life have spoken on for over 20 years. That is that 4Life Transfer Factor has the ability to recognize, respond to, and remember potential health threats. Isn't it wonderful to have those same ideas validated in a clinical study? For any research to stand the test of time, it involves work with independent experts like Dr. Jensen to see if their studies can replicate, reinforce, and build off of what is already known. That is the hallmark of any scientific discovery, and it's just one more example of why science is a core value at 4Life Research. Thank you.